Hello and welcome to Mobile Gaming News Weekly. We're the gaming on phone team that specializes in bringing weekly mobile gaming news to your feed at the earliest availability.
To start off this week, NieR Reincarnation, the highly acclaimed RPG, has released globally. Set in the hollow NieR and Drakengard universe, the game was released months ago in Japan. NieR Reincarnation features a whole new different and unique battle system when compared to other games in its category. The game also aims to retain the melancholic storytelling from which Taro is best known for. Next up, MiHoYo's romance detective game Tears of Themis is now globally available. In this game, players will presume the role of a new attorney at Themis law firm. Moreover, players will work together with their ordained lover as they investigate bizarre cases that appear in Steli City. Players must investigate crime scenes and question the suspects to obtain evidence and testimonies that uncover the truth. More news from MiHoYo, the developer has plans to add 4 more regions in Genshin Impact, making it a total of 7 over the next 4 years. MiHoYo had held its GDC 2021 conference, and during this event, MiHoYo had released more information about the development process of Genshin Impact. One of these pieces of information or leaks includes MiHoYo's plans to add the remaining 4 regions of Genshin Impact. The remaining 4 regions are Sumeru, Land of Wisdom, Fontaine, Land of Justice, Netlin, Land of War, and Snezhnaya, with no details so far. Moving to the next big news of this week, Gameloft has released a new Fantasy 4X strategy game called Heroes of the Dark, which is set to release in the Victorian era. Players need to work on their empire from scratch and take on enemies by building up the strongest army they can. The game features vampires, humans, and werewolves, who are the 3 main groups vying for power in the dystopian world, but also working together when needed. Currently, the game is still region locked to Bulgaria, Romania, and the Philippines. Iridium Starfish has released a new turn-based RPG known as XCOM Legends recently on Android. The game allows players to liberate the Earth as a part of the last resistance groups on the planet by defeating the alien invaders known as Advent. The development of the game has been under relative secrecy, where freedom has been created for the developers working for testing ideas to selective audiences. It is also worth noting that in the case of XCOM Legends, there is a clear influence from the highly popular game Raid Shadow Legends. Silver Lining Studio and co-publisher Akupara Games have announced the launch of the upcoming interactive fiction and adventure game Behind the Frame on August 25. Behind the Frame is all about an ambitious artist on the verge of completing the final piece of her gallery submission. By guiding her using brushstrokes, players can solve a variety of puzzles to help her complete the beautiful masterpiece. The Studio Ghibli-inspired game is currently up for pre-registration on App Store and Google Play. Moving next, Krafton envisions creating a metaverse around PUBG IP. In a recent press conference, Chan Han Kim, CEO of Krafton, recently released a video going into detail about the company's ambitious plans to create a PUBG universe. He talks about the work put in by Krafton and how the success of PUBG has affected the roadmap for the future. He mentions that Krafton has more plans after the release of PUBG New State. Kim says that PUBG had now become a global phenomenon and that it cannot be viewed as a single product. The Krafton CEO also outlines how the regular updates for the PUBG Mobile increased interaction from the customer side. He added that this was a model that they would continue to stick to. Next up, the 1987 classic shooter Contra comebacks on the mobile platforms. Contra Returns, the free-to-play game developed by Tencent Games in collaboration with Konami, is now available globally. The game had originally released on China on June 6, 2017, and then later in Taiwan on 2018. As players have been eagerly waiting for this release, it is now time to dive into nostalgia by playing this classic from the 80s. Coming next, MIR4, a Korean fantasy MMORPG, is getting a global release. The game from Vernade Entertainment will be launched in more than 170 countries in 12 languages. Before the global release, there will be a closed beta test. The unique open-world K-fantasy MMORPG was first released in South Korea on November 2020. The game quickly gained the title of country's most downloaded game after a successful year in Korea. The provider company is finally introducing the game globally. MIR4 has many cool features to offer to its players. It lets players choose their own stories to develop it without any limitation. To explore the mystical and elegant life of the Oriental world, a player can choose to become any character. The game will be available on both mobile and PC platforms.
So that wraps it up for this week's mobile gaming news. So until we meet again, goodbye and thank you for watching.